I have convinced you to join the program. Wonderful. What are your next steps? So the first thing that you want to do is clean up your resume and make sure that you meet the minimum eligibility requirements for the program. We set these minimum eligibility requirements primarily so that we can make sure that people who are joining the program are going to be able to get what they are supposed to get out of it, right? We are not interested in having folks join the program and then not be able to use the skills, not have enough prior experience to be able to kind of put what we're talking about into a context, or not be able to contribute to the classroom conversation, right? So keep that in mind as I go through these minimum eligibility requirements. So first is that you be currently in a management or leadership position with a public agency or organization. I would also potentially extend that to nonprofit organizations, depending on the type of work being done. And this is primarily, again, with that idea of we're going to talk about team stuff. We're going to talk about organizational stuff. And we want to make sure people are in positions where that makes sense. We define management and leadership fairly broadly. So, you may have the title of manager and not have any direct reports. That's fine with us because usually those folks are working on cross-functional teams or they lead projects or different things like that, right? You may have a position that doesn't say manager or leader in it, but you have direct reports. So there's a variety of different ways you can meet that requirement. We require that people have at least 3 years of work experience total, at least 1 year in a public organization, right? Or an organization that is deeply engaged with the public sector. And those are really it. We don't have any education requirements anymore. So those are really the two main things. Once you've confirmed that, the second step I recommend is that people explore financial support options with their employer, whether or not they think there is any money available. One of the things I've learned from the last 12 years, I've been working in continuing education, is that there are often pockets of money or funding sources or partnerships that employees have no idea exist until they ask. So the worst thing that can happen is they say no. But I would encourage you to explore that, in particular because I know in the public sector, approval processes for funding can take a while, which is why I encourage people to do that as they're preparing their application instead of just after they've applied, right? Select someone to write your letter of recommendation and talk with them a little bit about why you want to do the program. Share the website with them. The letter of recommendation is really brief. It is a small ask of folks, really just to kind of tell us a little bit about, who you are and why you're a good fit for this program, why it makes sense for you. You'll see the requirements for that on our the website. And an important thing to note here too is it doesn't have to be from your current supervisor. This is not a letter of approval that you can participate in our program. It really is one of the ways to kind of help us again see, is this the right program for you at the right time, right? Write or record your candidate statement, which again is fairly brief, 1 or 2 written pages or a 3 to 5 minute video or audio statement. And it's again with that same idea. So you're going to talk a little bit. There's some questions for you to answer on the website and talk a little bit about why you're interested in the program, how you meet those requirements, if there's anything kind of questionable about it, and what you hope to gain. So once you have that all together, your resume, letter of recommendation, if they provide it to you directly, or at least a recommender who's going to has agreed that they will send a letter to us, you'll submit your application online. It's just a web form. You do not have to apply to the university, and there's no cost to apply. So you'll just submit your documents. Depending on the time of year, it could take me anywhere from 3 to 10 business days to review your application, reach out to you if I have any questions. And then once you're approved, then it's just about us figuring out getting you registered and figuring out how it is you're going to pay for the program.